I wasn't feeling well, and I thought I had food poisoning. I would go to work every day and I would be bawling in my car, like just in so much pain. I had extreme lower back pain, and I Googled what it said on my CT scan. So it said metastatic bladder cancer, and it said life expectancy 6 months. So I drive a lot for work, and I would just be like healed over in pain. I remember at the beginning, I would have baths like throughout the night, and I would just have like hot baths. It was the only thing that kind of like soothed the pain. So I didn't have like the normal, the blood in my urine kind of thing. It was more, it honestly felt like food poisoning. Just how I am, it's like you just push through it. I just didn't want to be like, oh, I'm just being a wimp. I think I was in denial for a really long time. You just think you're gonna get better. We just really don't take care of ourselves. We're always just focused on everybody else. You know, I have 2 daughters. I'm a single parent, like I co-parent, but I have to provide. I have to go to work. I'm in a male dominated, so I was an electrician by trade, and I feel like I've just been trying to prove myself for the past, 25 years. I waited a little bit, like a couple days, and then I went to a walk-in, and then I went to, it's called ambulatory care where I'm at. Yes, I went, but I was very stubborn about it. So I have a friend who is a nurse, and so I would message her all the time. I'd be like, and she's like, Lori, if it wasn't for her, I would have not have gone. She's like, because I would tell her my symptoms, and she's like, it sounds like this or that. She's like, you need to go. Did some blood work, and it showed that my kidney function, there was something going on there. So they rushed a ultrasound, and then they saw a mass. They did a biopsy, and then it came back inconclusive. And he's like, we think it's cancer, so we're just going to remove the kidney. It's just the safest. I was driving, like I was working, and I pulled over, and I called my mom, and I'm like, I have cancer. I cried, and then I went back to work. Like, I think that's just how I process things, is I just kind of, push through. So I pushed through a lot in that time and was in a lot of pain. I had my kidney removal surgery booked, and they said it would be about 2 hours. So it ended up being 8. Basically said that the surgery didn't go as well because my bladder he made it sound like it was like rock hard, like full of cancer inside and out. So when they went to remove my kidney, they just couldn't get at it because it was just like the cancer had just taken over. I remember with my mom, she started crying, and my mom never cries. And I'm like, it's okay, you can cry. I didn't know that it was stage 4, and I didn't know the actual term for it. They kind of didn't really tell me. I think they did that on purpose because I was really, really sick. I didn't know how bad my cancer was until after my first scan, talking to my oncologist after, like, he didn't think I was going to make it past 6 months, just because I was just so incredibly sick. Very shortly after they did the one CT scan, they did another one, and it had spread to my liver, lungs, and lymph nodes. I had dropped about 30 pounds in about a month's time. I couldn't eat, and I was in a very deep depression during that time. I remember we went to Jasper, and I just wasn't myself, lost it, because I thought this was my last trip to Jasper, and I was thinking that these were all just like memory pictures, and like I was back to work, just kind of doing the daily things, but I was not okay. I was very, very depressed. Because it's metastatic in stage 4, they're like, you'll always be stage 4. I knew that if I didn't get this treatment like as soon as possible, that I'd be dead. The treatment that I was on was new. Basically, I was just to do this treatment, and that I had those conversations, basically just do this treatment until I couldn't tolerate it was the words that were used. Like it'd be like the immunotherapy and then the chemo. So day 1 I would do both, and then day 8 I would do just the chemo, and then I would get a week off, and then I would repeat that. I was so numb and in such denial. I didn't care. I did really trust my oncologist, and I do. 100% I do trust him. I trust that he has my best interest. The immunotherapy was starting to do its job, so I was slowly gaining my weight back and gaining strength back, and I was back to work, and my work is such a positive atmosphere too. And even just doing like the day-to-day things, I think you just get your mind off of it. Just being able to like make my kids supper and take them to dance and do the things, those were the good moments. I'm doing normal day-to-day stuff, so I was doing the two together until I couldn't tolerate it anymore. There is no plan. It's basically I am on this until the cancer comes back, and then we try something else. When I was at my sickest after surgery, I couldn't even walk up the driveway. I would get sick. And so my first scan was like 3 months later, and I think I had like 67% of it was gone. So it was an amazing scan. Bladder cancer is hard. I'm on a lot of groups and it spreads. Very isolating because you can't have conversations about certain things with your friends and family, because there were some very deep dark feelings that I felt. I joined a bladder cancer, there was a women's group, but most of them were not metastatic. So I just felt like I wasn't really part of that group. And then there is a metastatic group that I'm a part of. And there's women in it too, which is fantastic, but that's been new. I just joined that. I did not want to join any cancer groups because I'm like, it's just going to be negative. It's going to be a downer, and I don't need that. I practice a lot of gratitude, a lot. Every day I do gratitude. Even my girls and I, we would do at dinner time, we would do 3 things that we're grateful for. So another thing too is I was listening to a lot of radical remission stories, anything I could that was positive. So those stories were huge because it gave me hope. Not to sound morbid, but I'm not scared of dying. Because of all of this, I've come to terms with that. I am really trying to be in the moment. It's changed me completely. I'm a completely different person. There's this book and it's about having a year to live and just basically living your life as if you're going to die in a year. And I think that's kind of a good concept to live by. I really am trying to be in the moment with my girls. I'm having those really good conversations with them. I'm showing affection. I'm really picking and choosing who I spend my time with. I wish I had a crystal ball, because I'm like, if I only had 4 years to live, I would do things completely different. But it's for me, I'm planning to live 20 more years or whatever. I will do anything. I am super nervous for this next scan because I don't know if going off the chemo, I'm hoping that the cancer doesn't come back. I do need a little bit of a break though. It was hard. And writing my story for Bladder, for the month of May, it was hard. I think I don't even realize how much I've gone through in the last year and a half. I have a huge will to live. I can fight again if I need to. I just need a little bit of a break.